afternoon, team. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be telling you about my TBR Vets. This is the pile that I have. It is 12 books, and it is 12 books for a reason. We're going to be putting all of these titles in a pot, and if I get TBR Vet on my Bookopoly board, then I will be picking one of these books out. The idea is that I can get through some of these books because they've been on my shelves for a long time. Some of them have been on for a long time. Some of them have been on in the last it's anything a year older, basically, so some of them have been on for a while. So let's get through these because there are 12 of them. I'm not going to go into too much detail about what these are about. I just want to go through them and show you what I've got. So we've got One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. This is a classic, and I actually got this edition when I went to Waterstones last year for the Cassandra Clare and Holly Black signing. So this was like February last year, 2019. So this is over a year old now. It's well over a year old. It's coming up for 2 years old, and I still not read it yet, and I love this edition. It's got illustrations in it, it's got decorated edges, and I just really enjoy this edition. So I would really like to get to this soon. So this is following a group of patients at a mental hospital where the nurse is basically a bit of a tyrant, and she just cannot wait to dope them all up on pills and try shock therapy with them, etc. And then the arrival of a new patient called Murphy ensues, and he wants to try and test this nurse, and I think that his mental issues are not as severe as the others, and he's not as medicated as some of the other patients. This is that story basically. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm interested in seeing how this goes. I know that there's a movie been done with Jack Nicholson as Murphy, so I would be really interested in watching that when I've read this book. So yeah, this is one of the books on my TBR Vet list even. Then we've got Solitaire by Alice Oseman, an entirely different type of story. This is I don't know if this one is actually queer or not, but this is following Tori Spring, who is actually Nick's sister or Charlie's sister? Charlie's sister from Heartstopper. So this follows Tori, who likes to sleep, she likes to blog. Last year she had friends, things were different, she guesses, but that's all over now. Now there's Solitaire and Michael Holden. I don't know what Solitaire are trying to do, and I don't care about Michael Holden. I really don't. So it says this is not a love story on the front. I don't know where this is going. I know nothing about it, only that I know that it's Charlie's sister. I'm fairly sure it's Charlie's sister. I get Nick and Charlie mixed up so much. Fairly certain it's Charlie's sister. So I think Nick and Charlie in this are like an established couple. This is like post Heartstopper. So Heartstopper's kind of gone back a little bit, but I'm looking forward to picking this one up as well. Then I've got Starry Eyes by Jen Bennett. I've had this one for a little while now. I can't remember how long it is, but it's not that long. It's probably just over a year maybe. And this is a thriller, I think. It's a contemporary thriller with maybe a little bit of romance. I'm fairly certain anyway. Ever since last year's homecoming dance, best friends turned best enemies, Zori and Lennon have made an art of avoiding each other. It doesn't hurt that their families are the modern day Californian version of the Montagues and Capulets. Fair enough. But when a group camping trip goes south, Zori and Lennon find themselves stranded in the wilderness alone together. What could go wrong? With no one but each other for company, they have no choice but to hash out their issues via witty jabs and insults as they try to make their way to safety. But fighting each other whilst also fighting off the forces of the nature makes getting out of the woods in one piece less and less likely. And as the two travel deeper into a Northern Californian rugged back country, secrets and hidden feelings surface. But can Zori and Lennon's rekindled connection survive out the real world, or was it just the result of the fresh forest air and the magic of the twinkling stars? So it sounds a little bit thrillerish, like battling the elements, like a survival story, but also a friendship rekindling type story, possibly a romance, I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to this one. I've heard good things, so yeah. Then I've got Call It What You Want by Bridget Kemmerer. I love Bridget Kemmerer's Cursebreaker series, and I want to try and pick up some more from her, but like contemporary books, because, well, that's the only other thing she's done. So I am interested in this, but I've had it for so long. I can't remember when I got this. Rob had it all, but when his dad was caught embezzling funds from half the town, everything changed. Now Rob's a social pariah who lost everything. His friends, his status, even his family. Megan was a typical overachiever until the pressure got to her last year, and now her sister's pregnant. Pretending to be a perfect family might be too much to handle. When Rob and Megan are paired together at school, they're both reluctant to let their walls down they've built, but Rob's plan to fix the damage caused by his father could ruin more than their fragile new friendship. Sounds really interesting, a little bit dramatic. I don't know. This is the only thing sometimes with these now. I just don't know if they're a little bit too... sometimes the YA contemporary books can be a little bit too young for me now, and I just don't know if I'm here for the drama as much. I like there to be a little bit of action with my drama sometimes. So then I've got Page Toon, 5 years from now, and this is following, I think this is a little bit like the One Day in December book that I've just read by Josie Silver, but this is following Nell and Van, who met as children when their parents fell in love, but soon they are forced worlds apart, so they are step siblings by the sounds of things. 5 years later they find each other, their bond is rekindled and new feelings take hold, but once again they must separate. For the next 2 decades fate brings Nell and Van together. Every 5 years as life and circumstance continue to divide them, will they ever find true happiness, and will it be together? I do kind of enjoy these, to be honest, but I do sometimes find them a little bit repetitive if I read too many of them in one go. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see how this goes. I love the movie Groundhog Day, but for some reason with the books it can get a little bit repetitive. It just depends on how it's done, I suppose. I can just get a little bit irritated with the characters like moving on with other people and then coming back to each other, and moving on with other people and come back to each other. It can just get really annoying. Anywho, then I've got Artemis by Andy Weir. I love The Martian, and I'm really anticipating Holy Grail. Is that what it's called? Holy Grail, I think. His new book, so I'll show a picture of it here. I think it's called Holy Grail, and I'm really excited about it. I'm so excited. So this one is sci-fi, obviously. Welcome to Artemis, the first city on the moon, population 2,000, mostly tourists, some criminals. It sounds really good and I'm here for it, but I have heard mixed things about this one, so I'm looking forward to it. I do enjoy Andy's writing style. I find it really funny. I think this is a little bit like The Martian, but with more people in it, because obviously The Martian, Mark Watney's stuck on Mars on his own, but this one does for the moon what The Martian did for Mars essentially, but I think it's a female main character that we're following this time instead of male, so I am here for that. Then I've got The Bells by Danielle Clayton. I have had this for the longest time. I even forgot I had it. It was on my other bookshelf that I just used for like my filing. It's got my workbooks on it and all of my paperwork for the house and things like that, the car and stuff, so I completely forgot it was there, in all honesty. I've not heard much, to be honest. Only since the new books come out have I heard about this book much, which reminded me. So on the back it says, I'm a belle, I control beauty. In the opulent world of Orleans, the people are born grey and damned, and that only a belle's powers can make them beautiful. Camilla wants to be the favourite belle, the one chosen by the queen to tend to the royal family. But once Camilla and her belle sisters arrive at court, it becomes clear that being the favourite is not everything she always dreamed it would be. Behind the gilded palace walls live dark secrets, and Camilla soon learns that her powers may be far greater and far darker than she ever imagined. When the queen asks Camilla to break the rules she lives by to save the ailing princess, she faces an impossible decision: protect herself and the way of the bells, or risk her own life and change the world forever. It sounds interesting, actually, really interesting. I haven't read the back of that book in a long time, so yeah, we're going to stick this on here because I've had it for a while. Then we have Divergent by Veronica Roth. I have never read this book, I don't think. I'm not sure. I've seen the movie many a time, but I don't think I've read the book. I only have the first one. I don't have Insurgent or Allegiant. I just have the first one. I'll just read out the back to you because it's a lot easier for me to do. Beatrice Pryor is on the brink of a decision that will change her life. In a society divided into factions, all are forced to choose where they belong, and the choice Tris makes shocks everyone, including herself. As her experience transforms her, Tris must determine who her friends are and who is really on her side, because Tris has a deadly secret, and as growing conflicts threaten to unravel their seemingly perfect society, this secret might save those Tris loves, or it might destroy her. I'm glad I read the back of that because I would have spoiled that for you. But yeah, I haven't read this one, I don't think. I don't remember doing so. Then I've got Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I have had this for a little while now. I got both of the first two in a charity shop, I think last year, and I have not read this. Mysterious Island and Abandoned Orphanage, a strange collection of peculiar photographs. It's all waits to be discovered in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. An unforgettable novel that mixes fiction and photography in a thrilling reading experience. As our story opens, a horrific family tragedy sets 16-year-old Jacob's journey to a remote island off the coast of Wales, where he discovers the crumbling ruins of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. As Jacob explores its decaying bedrooms and hallways, it becomes clear that Miss Peregrine's children were more than just peculiar. They may have been dangerous, they may have been quarantined on a deserted island for good reason, and somehow, impossible though it seems, they may still be alive. Oh, okay, that's nothing like I thought it was going to be. There is a movie with this as well, with Eva Green as Miss Peregrine, I believe, and I really want to watch it. So yeah, I really like Eva Green, and I really kind of am interested in this. I don't know, I'm on the fence about whether or not I'll actually like this, but yeah, I'm interested in watching the movie, so I want to read the book first. Then we have Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I have had this on here for the longest time. I thought about getting rid of it several times because I just didn't think it was going to be up my street. I've watched the movie. I loved the movie, so now I want to read the book. So this is set in, it's a sci-fi, but also like a dystopian. Sorry if the angle's changed. My battery died. As I was saying, imagine the world at stake, an epic struggle between good and evil, the greatest quest in history, the fate of humanity, resting in your hands. Are you ready? It's really good. I really did enjoy the movie, so I can't wait to pick this one up, and I hope that it's really good. Then we have These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is a sci-fi as well, and I really want to pick more up from Amy Kaufman. I have read from Megan Spooner before, but yeah, I mostly picked this up because of Amy Kaufman, and I just wanted to see what it was like. So it's a night like any other on board the Icarus, I think that's how you pronounce that. Then catastrophe strikes. The massive luxury space liner is yanked out of the hyperspace and plummets into the nearest planet. Lilac LaRue and Tava Merendson, I think that's how you pronounce that, survive, and they seem to be alone. Lilac is the daughter of the richest man in the universe. Tava comes from nothing, a young war hero who learned long ago that girls like Lilac are more trouble than they're worth. But with only each other to rely on, Lilac and Tava must work together, making a torturous journey across the eerie deserted terrain to seek help. Then, against all odds, Lilac and Tava find a strange blessing in the tragedy that has thrown them into each other's arms. Without the hope of a future together in their own world, they begin to wonder, would they be better off staying here forever? Everything changes when they uncover the truth behind the chilling whispers that haunt their every step. Lilac and Tava may find a way off this planet, but they won't be the same people who landed on it. The first in a sweeping sci-fi trilogy, These Broken Stars is a timeless love story about hope and survival in the face of unthinkable odds. I do have the second one, I haven't got the third, but yeah, I love the cover of this as well. It's a bit battered because I got it second hand, but yeah, looking forward to that one. And then the last one is a chunky one because obviously I had to stick a chunky book on here. Apparently the Bells wasn't chunky enough, and I have got The Firemen by Joe Hill. I have had this for a while now. I went a little bit crazy when I found out that Joe Hill did Lock and Key, the graphic novel, so I bought a few Joe Hill books and I haven't read any of them because I don't really read horror. So I'm sticking this on here because I thought it might be nice to shake things up a little bit and finally read this because I've heard really good things, so I wanted to stick this on here. I think this is like a dystopian as well. I really want to try and push dystopian and sci-fi next year because I really want to get into more dystopian and sci-fi. I really enjoy it, I just don't reach for it as often as I should really. Nobody knew where the virus came from. Fox News said it had been set loose by ISIS. MSNBC said sources indicated it might have been stolen by culty Christian types fixated on the Book of Revelation. CNN reported both sides, while every TV station debated the cause. The world burnt. School nurse Harper Grayson has seen lots of people people burn on TV, but the first person she saw burn for real was in the playground behind her school. Now she's infected and has only one goal: to survive long enough to give birth, but the fire is spreading. With epic scope and emotional impact, this is one woman's story of survival to the end of the world. Ironically enough, I had no idea that's what the synopsis of this book was. I thought this was a dystopian of similar proportions but following a fireman. Clearly I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. I mean, maybe it is, it's just that the synopsis does not say, so I don't know. But I'm really intrigued about this. Now I've read that synopsis back, I really want to read this, so I'm glad it's on this list, and I do hope I get the chance to pick it up, just not in a month when I've got loads and loads of books on my TBR already. Those are the 12 books that are on my TBR vet list. I may think of another opportunity for me to be able to pick one of those, because obviously I'm not guaranteed to pick a community shelf card every single month, so I may try and find another way of doing that. I'm not sure, we'll see how this goes, but I hope you have enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these, what your thoughts are, if you have any suggestions for me based on these that you think I might enjoy. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below, and if you got to the end of this video, drop me a fire emoji. If you got to the end and you've got nothing else to say, it's just nice to know that you're there and you've seen the video. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.